It's supposed to be an Attack on Titan video. It didn't happen. My excuse is I've been sick the last couple days from videos being taken down and me having to re-edit those versus new videos coming out. I have a list of videos I want to get to and I want to do, but as of right now, it's just like a machine. I have time to work on what I know I need to get out, and right now Attack on Titan is the priority. After I finish season 1, there may be a small break before moving into season 2. Obviously, we're doing the no regrets. That'll be out after season 1, and then I may figure out, just take a little bit of a break to figure out what we're going to do with it. I mean, Attack on Titan is going to continue, period. I feel like I just need a breather to kind of like sort things out and figure out what's going on. I know I've already said I've been sick. I just woke up. I've been asleep these past couple days, and I just have like that rush of adrenaline, like knowing you've been just like laying in bed the past couple days and your fever finally breaks and it's like you're awake now. That's how I feel. While I was sick though, I was laying in bed and I was checking out a movie that I just watched. Oh, it's up here actually. Evangelion. Watched the film of the series. And I've talked about it. I don't know if I ever mentioned it. I've said it in like YouTube posts, like community posts I've made before. I may have mentioned it here and there. I don't know if I really ever did though, but I checked out a series called Neon Genesis Evangelion. It's always kind of been on my list, and I decided to just kind of turn it on in the background while I was editing because I saw it was pretty short. And I got hooked on the show. So this is kind of my opinion on it. There's been a lot of thoughts. It's been a show. I watched the show 2 weeks ago, but these are just my thoughts on the series and the film and just kind of breaking down what I thought about it. Now, the first time I watched it, like I said, it was dubbed. It was just kind of on in the background on Netflix. Just something I can listen to while I worked. I'm not going into the whole dub versus sub thing because it's stupid. But the director of the series, actual writer, and I may butcher his name. I'm going to try not to. Hideki? One of those. I actually already knew who he was. I was already introduced to his work, and I knew him from Shin Godzilla. Like I just said, the Godzilla universe. I was a huge Godzilla fan, and he directed the latest Japanese Godzilla film. Sorry, I'm going to try not to blind you guys with the light. In fact, I think he's directing Shin Ultraman or something like that. I was never a huge Ultraman fan, but I am familiar with it, and I think it's going to be awesome. But yeah, Shin Godzilla was the latest Toho Godzilla film. It was really good, and I knew who he was from that point on. I knew that he directed anime before. This is how I first heard about this series, was from him, but I didn't, just for whatever reason, just kind of shelved it, because I wasn't an anime guy. I didn't care about anime, so I never had any intention of actually watching the show. But here I am, and I'm talking about the show because it was really good, and it gave me a whole, like, newfound appreciation for Shin Godzilla. Not that I didn't like it before. Coming from somebody who directed, and granted, the Godzilla film he directed was not anything like a traditional Godzilla film. So I don't know why I was expecting this to be just a normal kaiju sort of Pacific Rim-ish, and it wasn't like that. One thing I do like talking about the earlier half of the show are the actual fight scenes between the Evas and the Angels, is the fact that they don't drag out the fight scenes. I think coming from Dragon Ball and then switching over to the show, I was expecting lots of explosions, lots of fights. You know, sometimes it's as simple as an Eva gets deployed and then immediately shot and the fight scene's over. You know what I mean? There's a lot of build up to the fights, and when the fights actually happen, they're very quick, they're fast paced, and they don't waste time. And I really like that. But yeah, so the earlier half of the show really starts out fairly traditional. It didn't really grip me. It was something, it did in a sense that it was something that I still wanted to leave on, I still wanted to watch. I wanted to see what happened next, but it wasn't like a gripping story necessarily. Not initially, at least. It just seemed like a traditional sort of run-in-the-mill anime. That is until the last half. I want to say around episode 18 or 19. The show definitely takes a turn. It changes course pretty hard, and that's what got me hooked on it. It was like this slow, as I'm like editing and listening to it, it's like you're editing and like kind of watching out the corner of my eye, just every once in a while just kind of peeking over at it, and then it just slowly turned into like I just slowly pulled my attention away until I was just held on it. And after I watched it the first time, I then doubled back and watched it a second time, and this time took notes as to some of the things I caught on to the ending, because I liked the way it ended in the sense that it left this sort of ambiguous, not really ambiguous, but it left it up to interpretation, which I really liked. The fact that I could kind of interpret what I saw in it personally versus what other people saw in it, and just kind of give my own theories to the ending. I guess that's what I'm going to talk about now, is, and you can't, I mean, look at the link of this video. This is not like, it's impossible to try and dissect everything that happens in the ending of the show in this short amount of time. I mean, it's flat out, you can make a 24-hour long discussion on the things that happen. I'm not even joking about that. For a 26 episode series, you could spend 26 hours talking about this show. Which I really, really love, trying to dissect it and getting all the theories and picking up on small things, which is why I like shows like Attack on Titan and stuff that you can watch over and over again and pick up more and more stuff. But going into the ending, all three of our main characters, first off, we have Shinji, Asuka, and Rei, and they all kind of start at different points, but they ended the same path. Like, they end at the same sort of point emotionally, but they just take different paths to get there. So, and this is going off track, but something I heard was that Hideki actually wrote these 3 characters, Rei, Asuka, and Shinji, based off of things that he was dealing with personally, like a different piece of himself. I don't know if that's true or not. I can't trust everything I read off the internet, but they all kind of end at the same sort of low point, which is what the end of the show kind of goes into. There's so much going on in the last few episodes of the series that my head was just spinning and I didn't really know what to think. And honestly, I didn't like it. That is until it actually ended with the whole congratulations scene, and all that just started to hit me personally. I won't get into it, but it's just, it was one of those endings where it just kind of sat with me for several days, and I was just thinking about it, and I couldn't get out of my head. And that's what the show does to you. It's like, you just can't stop thinking about it. Love or hate the ending of the show, you will not stop thinking about it. And I personally did love it. The more I sat with it, the more I liked the ending. And I like the sort of different interpretations you can gather from it. But going off, and this is where I'm going to start getting into actual things and going a little bit more in depth in it, is with the film. So apparently Hideki had gotten death threats over the ending of the series because it's very psychological and it was very unfulfilling in a lot of ways. Even if I personally liked it, I can definitely see why there was outrage about it. This is my personal theory, though, is that End of Evangelion was written after there was the outrage. Hideki had gotten death threats. From what I read, he ended up rewriting or releasing an official end with End of Evangelion to kind of, to kind of rewrite the ending of the last 2 episodes. So instead of 25 and 26, the anime, he released 25 and 26 as a film called End of Evangelion. Is it Evangelion? I think it's Evangelion, because that makes sense. Ava's. I just thought about this now. Whatever. The thing is, so with the series more lighthearted sort of congratulations scenes, End of Evangelion had a darker tone as like a response to that, which I thought they ran alongside each other, 25 and 26 kind of together, with the series focusing on what was going on with Shinji internally versus what the movie was portraying, which was the stuff that was going on externally. I didn't see it there was just these 2 different stories, 2 different endings. I saw it as one ending, or I think it's one ending. That's what my theory is. I think it's just one ending. Could be wrong, could not be. I don't know. There's just so much to unpack about the show, and I feel like I've been talking for so long without actually saying anything. So with the show's ending versus the actual movie ending kind of coming to an end at the same point. So I'm gonna talk about the scene at the very end of End of Evangelion. This is how I interpreted the scene. I want to share this with you and just kind of see what you guys think of it. I interpreted it as, so going back to the show, there's I may have pronounced his name. Was it Karu? I could look it up, but I doubt I could be able to pronounce it just looking at his name. I'm horrible at pronouncing Japanese names. Anyways, you know what I'm talking about. He opened up to Shinji and showed Shinji love or compassion, I guess, and Shinji grabbed hold of that because he feels so alone that whenever somebody showed him the slightest bit of that compassion, that love, he would grab onto it. And you saw that with his father in the series too. You know, there's that scene where he said, you know, well done, gave him that little bit of praise, and Shinji just exploded with that, like, because he gets that small bit of praise, he just kind of grabs onto it. So I think there was that scene at the end I thought was Asuka, whenever she reached up and touched his face, it was almost like a reminder to him that there are people that actually care for him, and that Asuka does care for him. But I don't think she didn't know how to express it, but I think that was clear through the anime. And it was just that moment of just emotion as to what he was doing, that he just let go and kind of broke down. I didn't think of it as like an eerie, dark ending to where she like reached up and touched him and then he kind of like fell back to the same place that he started in, or he was like still depressed. I thought it ended on a happy note, maybe at the same ending as the congratulations scene, kind of coinciding with that. I don't know, maybe it doesn't make any sense, but I felt like it did. I don't know, that's just my interpretation of how the series ended, what I thought it meant. And I wanted to talk about it, and you know, I needed a video to put out, so this is it. I don't know how it came out, but this is just a small video to kind of fill in the gap between the Attack on Titan reactions and stuff. We'll see how it came out. It might come out good, might come out bad. But with all that being said, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you'd like to enjoy, subscribe if you want to see more. I'd give Evangelion a 10 out of 10. The new movie, the 4th one's supposed to come out in June, I believe, which I'm really excited about. I still have 2 more movies to watch before I get to that one too. It's just a great time, man. Attack on Titan Season 4 comes out this year. Promised Neverland Season 2 comes out in the summer. And the last Evangelion movie comes out. I said Evangelion that time, see? It comes out in June. So, yeah, it's a good time to be an anime fan for me. All my favorite series are now getting continuations and stuff. But yeah, I've talked for long enough. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you want to see more. More coming out for you guys soon. And until then, I'll talk to y'all later. Peace out.